Katie,
Do we do it? Do we do it?
I call it fashionably late. Okay.
We're not fashionably late. We just wanted to be in all places at the same time, and you know what? We just that's it. That's us. We're having fun today. It's a Tuesday.
We're having fun. Hey, Ecamm fam. What happened there was we actually went live, I think, on the wrong day. We got 3 streams coming up. This is day 1. Guess whose error that was? Probably mine.
No, we were having. Yeah. Let's be honest for a second. We were having way too much fun. I was showing Phil like all of the brandability of comments, and we were way too distracted with all of the fun of the comment branding.
Thanks to distraction, we went live, I think, on Wednesday or Thursday. We time traveled, but friends, we came back to Tuesday, and we're here with you, and we're so excited to show you the magic of Adobe Express and to just talk about your live streams and to talk about your branding. I really think we're here as a resource to you. And Katie, let's give ourselves a round of applause, a little pat on the back for operating like cooler than cucumber.
Yeah.
Little operators a second ago in a moment of panic. There's nothing quite like the pressure of running a live stream for the #1 live streaming software. No pressure, Phil.
No, but hang on, because I actually just finished yesterday. I did all of the blog post writing. So, and one of the blog posts that I was writing about was about the inevitability and the absolute certainty of stream fails. So we just really proved this whole point. We got to remain calm, and that's half the battle. But Ecamm fam, if you are hanging out with us today and you don't know Phil, buckle up and get ready, because it's going to be super exciting and fun. And bring your questions. We're going to do like demo and walkthrough first. I'm going to ask some of my typical Katie questions, and then we'll circle back and answer all your questions at the end. But if we miss it, we promise we are there to answer questions as well in the Ecamm community and in Discord. So yeah, you have us for 3 days, and we are here to dive deep in the world of branding and design and making it easy, because that's like, I don't know, 80% of it. What do you think, Phil? 90% of it?
It's 90% of it. Making it easy. And just like you say, inevitably when things go wrong, even just having the tools and the ability to course correct and feel confident and not get thrown off. I'll tell you, I mean, I have Ecamm open every single day on my computer, not just for live streaming, but also for creating videos, short form video, now Instagram Live. And there are so many parallels between Ecamm for me and Adobe Express just being a place that is easy to understand, easy to navigate, and not be overwhelmed, and also not get hijacked, our days hijacked, trying to figure things out when we also have day jobs and we have things that we need to do, at our little to-do list. So speaking of to-do list, our giant to-do list. Speaking of to-do list, there are a few things on my list today. Templates. We're going to talk about Adobe stock assets. So I want to talk photos, videos, as well as music. There are so many exciting updates, Katie and Ecamm fam, from when we did this a year ago. The platform has evolved in so many exciting ways, and I can't wait to share that with this amazing audience. By the way, I knew it was only going to be a few minutes before I gave Doc Rock a shout out, because he's
here.
He loves this. He is an Adobe Express super fan. I think he's been using it longer than me. So Doc Rock, we love you, by the way. I just want to let you know that.
He can correct us when we're like, wait a second.
He will.
When we do something wrong. He will.
He has no shame. He has no shame. He's probably going to tease me for the, going live on Thursday instead of Tuesday. But that's how we live and learn. So we're going to talk templates. We're going to talk stock assets. There's so many little tricks in here that are going to help you with your live streams, not just background graphics and lower thirds, but friends, I'm talking stock photos. We'll use generative AI in the next few days to actually create images.
Thumbnails.
From a text prompt.
I mean, there's so much that you can do. So it's funny because Ecamm, often we get Ecamm fam who are like, oh, there's no templates within Ecamm for getting started with lots of this. And I hear you. And we will get eventually to some kind of level of templates. But part of that is to give you all the ability to fully customize and make your show look exactly how you want it to look. And tools like Express make that so easy that sometimes we forget how easy and simple it was. Before we jumped on, I was saying to Phil, like a humiliating fun fact about me is that I find myself like I will be in Express and designing away, and I'm not a designer, not at all good at designing. And I'm like, wait a second, I could have just used a template, duplicated it, like and made it so much easier on myself. So there, just because Ecamm doesn't have templates doesn't mean you shouldn't be using templates. This is a really easy, wonderful way to get started. Even if you're better than I am and you can like are a design wizard and can do all the cool things, these templates are here for a reason. So
Katie, you do not need to be a design wizard. Our sweet
good.
friend
I
Doc Rock
mean,
uses
yeah.
Express to design his thumbnails. I use
Hmm.
Express to design my thumbnails. I want you to
Yeah.
feel like you're at home. If you are not a designer, then
Hmm.
Express was made for you. So many people associate Adobe with our flagship apps like Photoshop. I say we, by the way. I don't work for Adobe. I work with Adobe. I work in my office, usually in pajamas. But I say we because I just love the team there. And I get so excited by seeing how people hop in here a little nervous at first because we know we're not designers. You don't need to be designers. There are what I call Adobe level templates in here, designs
Yeah.
that are sophisticated, that have been collaborated on from people all over the world. I'm just going to click through a few templates so you can see just the range of designs that you can start from. This
Hmm.
feels very on trend right now with that kind of close up, that zoom in skincare routine. This is what
Yep.
this is what it starts as. Even this one is a coaching session. Friends, there's
Yeah.
so much in here. Like, I love this one. This actually looks very much like one of mine. I could literally click and replace this image with my own and start to adapt what is here as a starting point for my
Yeah.
own brand. Maybe let's do that.
Yeah.
I clicked this one because
Yeah.
this feels like
Let's
a really cool
let's do it.
design, right?
And this is actually Doc is shouting this out, and we're about to dive into this, but this is really important to note that you want to make it your own. So find one that
Yeah.
catches your attention. Find something that's really cool, but you're gonna want to like apply your brand colors. You're gonna want to maybe play around with the fonts. You might want to put the fonts at a tilt. You're definitely gonna want to change out the images, but you want this to change at least 30%, if not more. You don't want to just like take it, swap the image out, call it a day. So don't do that level of easiness. You want to definitely make it your own, but it is really fast, and there's a lot of fun things that you can add. And as Phil's showing you, like you could build out your brand kit right there, so it's like even faster than
Check this out. We actually have a
yeah,
brand kit for this week of workshops. And
yeah.
so I've got my Ecamm logos. Let's say I'm doing a little demo for Ecamm. I could pop this in the corner with permission from Ecamm. Katie, do I have your permission to use the
You
Ecamm logo?
do, you
Thank
do.
you. We can pop in a photo here, a little headshot, single click, remove background. So you can see that's what's been done here. Take a
Hmm.
headshot, imagine this is yourself, single click, remove background. And we've got some
Hmm.
additional settings there that we can use to get it exactly how we want it. So let's click onto the text. I have already selected my brand or my library. Both exist in Express. So in Adobe
Hmm.
Express, a brand puts your brand, let's call them brand choices or your resources up front. So colors, fonts, any kind of stylistic choices that you define. We can also use a brand as a library, which starts to adapt now across Creative Cloud apps. That's why we polled you in the chat. If we didn't do it yet, we're going to. I want to know who in our audience is already using Creative Cloud apps, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. There's a good chance
Hmm.
you're already using, even at a basic level, you're already using libraries. We have access to libraries across all Creative Cloud apps, and that includes Express. So up here, I can see in use, or I can see right here, I'll pop the little window down. There are all of my Ecamm specific fonts that in a single
Hmm.
click, I'm able to apply my brand style just like that to my thumbnail. Here let's modify the background color. And because I have my Ecamm brand selected, single click, and adapt that thumbnail. I like the red actually. That looks really pretty.
Yeah, that is actually really, really nice.
It looks really good, right? And so
Uh,
this is, we're just we're clicking through and taking a few seconds to style this in the way that we might want to. And what
yep.
I want to show you is we started with a YouTube thumbnail. And Katie, you're going to go, well, we want to make sure people watch our stream on Instagram. So we have to tell Instagram about it. Let's
Mm-hmm.
tell Instagram about it. Let's tell them on a story or a feed post. And let's also tell
Mm-hmm.
them on a story post. Does that sound good to you?
Absolutely.
But also look how many things we could also single click and create a
But wait,
canvas for,
there's
not to
more.
overwhelm.
Yeah,
But wait,
exactly.
there's more,
Yeah.
Katia. You know that back in the day, I wanted to be a TV host, and
I
I used
love that
to.
it shows these side by side. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Phil.
Isn't
I
it great?
it's so nice to kind of have one view because, and you were doing this last week on a show that you were doing, which I had so much fun watching and took a ton of notes from. But it's nice because again, like you don't just want to resize it. You do
Yeah,
want to like make it look correct for that platform. So it's nice that you kind of get that view to say like, oh, yeah, like we want to make this image bigger, we want to move this up, or we want to slide this over. Maybe if you have like two pictures, you want to stack them. I think there's a lot of potential to do a lot, but you don't know unless you see them all kind of lined up like that. So I love that that view is there.
exactly. You don't
Sorry,
know
do go
unless
ahead.
you
I want to
see
hear your
it.
story.
I was going to tell you the story that I used to want to be a TV host. So back in the day, I moved
Mhm.
out to LA, and that was my dream, was becoming a host. And then I thought, well, I don't know if that's going to pay my rent right away. So I better get good at something, and that was branding and social media. And so this story comes full circle in that that's what I've been doing for a lot of years. Friends, I'm just kind of playing with the design here just to show you how you can quickly adapt this for a square. But I'll hop back over here to, let's say, an Instagram story. We can use the vertical space so I
Mhm.
can make my headshot a little bit bigger. Do you like my headshot? You like my headshot of me
Yeah,
right there?
you look fabulous. Yeah.
Why, thank you. And you'll see here over on the right-hand side, we have layers like we traditionally do in Photoshop, in Illustrator, in any of the Adobe apps.
Yeah.
We love layers. So obviously, if I'm doing this with a little bit more care, I'll arrange my layers. But I just want to show you how quickly these designs can be adapted for
Yeah.
whatever your use is by single clicking, duplicate, and resize. And to finish that story, Katie, here I am 12 years later after starting my business in branding and in social media strategy, and I truly am what I feel like a TV host, in large part thanks to Adobe for doing workshops and sharing this brand that I love, but also Ecamm. Ecamm has given me the ability to go live on my own channels. I thought my dream was to go live on other people's channels and TV shows, but actually my dream is to make my own content
Yeah.
right here in my pajamas. You wouldn't know. I'm not wearing pajamas, but I could be.
I often am. I'm often, what I've been living in is total ridiculous plug for our merch site, but we have these new jogging pants that I think it was Leslie Samuel who was like, you need to have Ecamm joggers. I was like, yes, we do. So we added them
Yes, you
in
do.
and I ordered a sample. I have not today. I think is the first day I've taken these off. They're like red and they have the Ecamm logo on them, but they're so comfy and no one sees them because I'm always like, just the top half showing. But
I would
it's
like to place an order for one of those, please. I would like to order
so,
the joggers.
they're
Thank you.
so
Send
comfy.
me an invoice.
I did see a couple of people asking a few questions that I thought were worthwhile as you're continuing to design.
Yes.
Thought were worthwhile answering. Someone earlier asked kind of where they can find Express. Express is a not a desktop app, correct? So that is
Correct.
something that so this is a web app. So you just log in, similar to how you would with other web tools.
Mhm.
But it's got, and someone else was asking, which we get often when we do these kinds of workshops, like what is the difference between Express and a tool like Canva, for example?
Yeah,
And
I can answer that.
what I'll say, and I'm interested to hear Phil's answer as well, is that so I have used Canva a lot over a lot of years. I think since Canva first started, and
Of
it's
course.
great. It does a ton of stuff, and it's really like low lift, super easy beginner. This really is next level. So there, for you'll see a lot of kind of the same features that we've gone through that are similar to what Canva offers, but it just has a lot more layered on top of it that is great for looking a lot more professional than I think what a final result would look like on Canva, because it's Adobe. So they have, we talked about right before we jumped on, but there's like the ability to license photos. There's, much larger kind of libraries. There's the ability to build in, so if you're someone who works with tons of clients, for example, like multiple brands and libraries to be able to switch back and forth to do client work. I think it just takes you to another level. Both are great tools. I still use Canva here and there for projects that I'm doing, but
Yep.
I do think that this one gives you just a lot more, because it is a company that has been around for a very long time and has a ton of other apps kind of in their suite that
Integrations.
allow
Yes,
you to dive a
Katie.
lot deeper.
While you were giving a perfect answer to that question, I'm showcasing on screen elements. So we're kind of starting basic today. Remember, friends, we're going to be back for 2 more days, and I'm going to be going into more detail on AI. I'm going to be going into more detail on things like add-ons. I'll touch on them today, but we'll go into more detail on them. So while this is beginner, there are also some features in here that I think are going to enhance a lot of what you're doing. But I want to show you just design-wise, really nothing beats Adobe. When I say Adobe level quality, we all know what that means. So you've got design assets here. These are designed by designers, and they're here for you to use. Thousands of things that you didn't even know you needed until you spot it. Right?
Yeah.
Until you spot it. So we've also got backgrounds here that are categorized beautifully. We have artists from around the world that have worked on these assets. Shapes. I use shapes all the time. What I pulled up, and this is probably a good cue for Paul. Hey, Paul, if you want to post the link to our remixable templates from our lower thirds from last year, we can post those. We had 4 different styles, but I largely used shapes to create these lower thirds. Now here there's text. I'd probably delete that and put the text directly in Ecamm so that I can make adjustments if ever needed. But friends, let's get you those remixable templates so that you can be designing your lower thirds. In Express, take this, modify it. If you want to export it without the background, we can delete this photo, change the background to transparent right there, and boom, we can download that as a transparent PNG. Absolutely simple and awesome. Clicking over here to media, and then I'm going to put us full screen in a second. We'll actually answer some questions, Katie, because you gave me permission to go overtime today. Thank you. But along those lines of like creating something that doesn't look cookie cutter or templatey, which I often find with Canva, it's no knock to Canva, but there's a lot of people using it, and there's a lot of like sameness of people using it. And I find that Adobe Express really complements my desire to stand out, create standout content. So photos, friends, with Adobe Express free, a free plan, you have access to a more limited library of royalty-free stock photos, but you still have access to some. The benefit of premium is that you have access to hundreds of thousands of royalty-free images in the Adobe stock royalty-free collection, as well as video and audio. A little trick, we might even call this a hack. For the cost of licensing one photo that might be, let's say, $9.99, that's Adobe Express Premium, the monthly fee, and you have access to all of those photos here. So watch this. I will click an Adobe stock photo and watch what happens when I actually switch my browser over to Adobe stock. Have a look here. It'll populate here a second. If I reload, it should show the assets that I'm already using. So I think I actually need to download that file, but I have here a track record of all of the Adobe stock photos that I've used, and guess what? What's the price? Included in the Adobe Express plan.
Yeah. Which is really, even just having this
how awesome
view
is
is really
that?
nice. Again, if you're working on like multiple projects, or you're working with, with a number of different clients, or even if you just have multiple shows for your own business, it's nice to just be able to see and find where all of those files are and feel that level of relief that you know that you're not going to run into any kind of legal issues. There is,
Bingo.
it is concerning. Like, even if you're doing a show just for fun, just for yourself, it is something that you need to think about. You're creating content that potentially could be using someone else's, content, someone else's photography or music or what have you. And it's one thing to say like, this is our, our royalty-free library, but to actually be able to see it and see that like it's saved in a place that you can reference, you can pull it out if anything happens, is I think hugely helpful for all of us to be thinking of and making sure we're keeping track of.
Hugely helpful. And particularly when we start talking about AI, it's a little bit like the wild,
Hmm.
wild west. I
Yeah.
would urge you to be very careful about the images you're creating and what the sources are, what's being sourced to
Yeah.
create that image. So that's why I'm a big fan of Firefly, Adobe Firefly. They use
Yeah.
only images that have been approved and licensed in their Adobe Stock collection and other resources. So everything is transparent. Adobe is
Yeah.
the leader in transparency in AI. I'll talk more about this in the coming streams. Today is kind of just to get your palette wet and to probably show you what you already have access to if you use Adobe Creative Cloud. You have Adobe Express Premium
Hmm.
included in that subscription. And if you don't, again, the cost of Adobe Express Premium is the price of one licensed photo. With Premium, you can license all different kinds of things, photos, videos, audio. Let me just tease what we're going to cover tomorrow. I had kind of planned to talk about it today, but I'm a talker and I didn't get to it. And I think we should get to some questions. Over here
Yeah.
in add-ons, I want to show you some of my favorite add-ons. So there's integrations with so many things. One of my
Crazy.
favorites is Brand Fetch. So anytime you need, let's say, a logo for a stream, boom, we can actually just
Oh,
grab that
nice.
logo quickly. I checked to see if I was a brand. I bet you Ecamm is. I bet you Ecamm is in here. Oh, not that. Ecamm. Look,
Ah,
have
look
a
at
look.
us.
Have a look at who's starring in.
Oh, look at that.
Exactly. Isn't that cool?
I love
So
that. I know for
even
like
me.
we do like a virtual event and then an in-person event, and it's collecting like logos from sponsors can sometimes be a total nightmare. You're like waiting for them to get back to you, and then they send you the file, but it's not like the white one that you need, and you need. So this is a really nice way to be able to capture that and just have it all in one spot, especially if you're collaborating too. So if you're by yourself, it's one thing, but if you're trying to work with a group of two or three or more, it can be a lot not to have. You want things all in one spot that everyone can easily reference and work together on.
100%. And I've only shown you one out of literally hundreds. There's the new TikTok Creative Assistant. So this is an AI integration directly with TikTok. You won't find this anywhere else. Use it for
Oh, wow.
content ideas. There's also the scheduler. So the ability to now push this out onto your social media platforms without having to leave Express. Also available on Adobe Express free. So scheduler can be used by people on Adobe Express free plan, which is
Wow.
very exciting. I recommend, friends, go into add-ons and just explore what's here. Gradients, world maps, contrast checkers, checkers
Wow.
for
Cool.
color blindness, where you've already got assets in Google Drive, OneDrive, charts, attention insight. I mean, the mock-up feature is amazing. This is with Mockup Studio, which is just awesome. So this is really, today we're kind of planting the seed of what's possible in Adobe
Hmm.
Express. I like to think, and we'll be back. We're going to take some questions now. Let's have a look at some questions.
Yeah. But yeah,
Um,
I will encourage all of you as Phil's scrolling through to find those questions. But it is really important to just, if you can take one takeaway from today, it's grab the link if you don't already have Adobe Creative Cloud. Grab the link, try just for free. Don't worry about signing up for Adobe Express at this point. Like just go do it for free
yeah,
and make three different versions, different sizes of a template for a show. So,
yes,
even if you have to make up a show to do it, but grab one of the templates, play around with the colors, add your personal touch, change up the fonts, add your photos, play around with it. But do that view that Phil showed you where you have, at least two others. So a square shape maybe or a tall, and play around with it so it really fills the space and looks as impactful as possible, and
yeah.
see how long it takes you. Because it really, like, it is amazing, and thinking about getting that into your workflow is really huge because you're going to need that for your show. And then once you have that, then you could say like, oh, well, I used a red background like we did, so maybe I want that red background in my show itself and I can download
Yeah.
that as a background. It's really thinking about it like big picture for your show, your presentation, or whatever it is that you're doing, because everything's drag and drop into Ecamm, so that part is really easy. It's just about thinking how you want to show up in your show. How you
A
want to show up.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think one thing we have in common, Ecamm fam, is that we like for things to be simple, and simple
Mhm.
means we do. And I think so often tech can get in the way of us just seeing through our vision or our creative idea. Also,
Yeah.
how many of us have like jobs for a living and things we do during the day and people that we're responsible for? So I really want to emphasize that like this is meant to be simple for you. This is meant for you to hop in and be creative without the requirement of you being a designer or being a creative pro. It's just meant to be a welcoming space. And I'm really proud that Adobe Express and Ecamm have that in common. You
Yeah.
land there and you're like, okay, I can do this. Katie, I live stream all the time now, and a lot of times I do it on behalf of Adobe, but I would have never, ever started doing this if it wasn't for Ecamm. Ever. I never would have. It's been, I think I said on my stream last week, you like this. It was the gateway for me to build my confidence in this medium and format. How great is this comment on the screen? I see many 4-hour max nights of sleep ahead with all that
I
he's
think it'll be
playing with.
faster than that. It's amazing. I was designing, so I just shout out to Doc and to Billy Thorpe and a whole bunch of other of the Ecamm fam who have helped me get my Amazon storefront up and running. But I was looking at ideas and examples. I was like, oh, I just need to make like a whole bunch of thumbnails for all these like quick short product videos that I've been recording for my Amazon storefront. And I was like, oh, it's so easy. Like I just wanted like a big bold font. And I'm like, you could just duplicate, and just change the image and change the font around. They look awesome and it takes no time at all. So I love that you're on board for 4 hours, but I really it was probably 20 minutes last night for me. And then it was like, now it's going to take forever for me to, upload these all in. Like that was the time was the rest of the work. The thumbnails were fast and easy.
These comments are cracking me up. I feel like I'm catching up on
Phyllis not
conversation that's
included
been
with
happening
Express.
while I've been doing a demo. So that's only partially true because in Express, when you click over on the Learn tab, there's actually me talking to you about how to use Adobe Express Scheduler. So there's a very good chance, friends, if you stick around, you will see my face and definitely hear my voice because it doesn't sound like anyone else. You will see me pop up in the Adobe Express landscape. But thank you for that. I'm very passionate about this, as you can tell. I'm very passionate about helping people that are busy, small business owners, entrepreneurs, show up confidently in mediums like this. And again, that's why I'm so excited about how Ecamm and Adobe Express live together. It's like a little ecosystem of, they're like little siblings in so many ways, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I actually think we've answered most of the questions. I'm still scrolling through, but I do want to shout out right now that if you haven't yet, this is not a trick. I promise you we're not like selling your email addresses or doing anything nasty or evil. But if you sign up for this workshop for free, you give us your email address, we will give you replay access and reminders for this session, and we will resend out if you missed it all of the those lower third templates that Phil has. But everyone that is registered, so all the people that have registered for free for this event, we're going to automatically pull you into a giveaway, and one lucky winner is going to win a year of Adobe Express Premium. So if that's important to you, which it should be because it's awesome, it's an awesome tool and it's a free year. Again, just take the time, share that with a friend. If there's like a friend or a colleague who's like, oh, this design stuff is really getting me down, send this over to them, and so that they can have this information and also enter to win as well. So huge thank you to Adobe. It was really kind of the Adobe Express team to be like, absolutely, we're in for a giveaway. We love a giveaway here at Ecamm, in case you haven't realized this point.
Well, guess what? You guys love Express. You guys love Adobe. We love Ecamm. Again, with the we language. I'm like, I feel like I'm one of them. It's true though. They see what you guys are doing, and you have such an amazingly vibrant community of people.
We have the
same
best community.
Yep. By the way, if we get Doc Rock's endorsement, then that's all we need. If he's making his thumbnails, then what other kind of endorsement would we need? That's celebrity level in my opinion.
Yeah.
This is funny, Phil. Don't inflate his ego.
So actually, I do wanted to address this. So Paul has a question that we did not yet answer, and we can hide our faces in slight shame. But so the today's thumbnail and the thumbnails for this were not actually created in Express. They were created.
No, but they could have been
in InDesign, but they could have been created in Express. They were only created elsewhere because we have the incredible Marshall Fawkes helping us with all these to keep them looking and feeling the same.
Is there anything better not necessarily, I was going to say, I mean, maybe his design skills, but his
Yeah.
voice. It's like
His
if I'm having
voice.
a stress day, I just need to hear Marshall's voice. Do you see mine even drop lower? It's like it's basically like a yoga class. Just
It is
listening
a
to him
yoga
like
class, yeah.
coast.
You're pretty close right
Um,
there. You're
I think I did
getting
all
close.
right. Yeah, I think I did all right.
So,
But that you bring a good point. So
yeah.
InDesign, he would already be using libraries. Let me just go back to my shared view
Yeah,
here.
pretty sure it was
He
InDesign. It was one of the Adobe tools that he uses. So it
Some people use
um
InDesign because it's where they're comfortable. Some people use Illustrator for vector graphics. That's where they're comfortable. I'm a Photoshop guy, and I just want to point something out really quick since you're letting me go over time.
yeah, go for
When
it.
we go to your stuff here, and I'll
Yep.
scroll down, you're going to see a nice little mix of different types of files here. So we can see
Yep.
it as
Ah,
indicated
yeah,
with the
yeah.
little badge. So we've got some
Yep.
Illustrator files here. We've got some
Yep.
Express files. Our little certificate
Uh,
that we made
don't
for people that
screenshot this.
are,
We're gonna give it to
yeah,
you.
don't screenshot it. Yeah. I
Please.
went to cover it up like as if that was going to do anything with my hands. I'll keep
Um,
it small. I won't make big yet, but this is what we would call a linked asset. Friends, I promise to demo this a little better tomorrow. I'll demo what we would call interoperability, or the ability to hop from Photoshop, um, Illustrator, and then back into Express with that linked asset. It is so cool. I'm going to demo this tomorrow. We can make an update in an app like Photoshop, and it will
yeah.
reflect immediately in Express.
Perfect.
So
All right.
lots to look
Mary
forward
Lou has
to.
a great question for us. Mary Lou asks, and hey, you're awesome. She asks,
Oh,
can you share brand kits? Can Ecamm share their brand kit with a creator like Mary Lou, for example?
I said I was done sharing my screen, but that question is too good. It's too good, Mary Lou. You're too good to us. Have a look at this, friends. I'm going to click this, invite to library. It could also be invite to brand. So there you can see my email. I could add Katie at Ecamm, let's say. I think I made that up.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's actually your
Yep, that's
email,
it.
is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
you got it.
yay. Good
Yeah.
guess. So, and I'll show you also, we'll go back to the dashboard. We'll click brands, and I'm going to find my Ecamm brand right here. I also have I have the ability to share right here, invite people,
Mhm.
same thing. So yeah, single click, add an email address of the person, and better yet, on a project, um, I'll actually, maybe I'll show this tomorrow. Katie, I'm actually going to invite you into my file and we can
Perfect.
collaborate because I know
Yeah,
we're
I love
short
it.
on time, but
Yeah.
basically we hop in here. I can add you by clicking this up here. I can actually, once you're shared on the doc, I can
Yeah.
actually have a commenting thread with you. That
Mhm.
I could tag you and say, Katie, is this design approved before we publish it or push it out on scheduler? All
Mhm.
of that happens in one place. I'll make a
Yeah.
note to make sure we demo that tomorrow.
Yeah.
We've gone over time, haven't we?
Yeah, that's okay. If you have time for a couple other questions, there's just
Sure.
a few left. All right, so Ellie Web Dev or L Web Dev, forgive me if I mispronounce that, wants to just see really quick if you're able to demo where
Sure.
to find the template for a YouTube thumbnail so that it's the correct size in Express.
I would love to showcase that. So there's a few places, but what I typically do is from our dashboard here, I'll click the plus sign
Mhm.
and you can either scroll down here. Normal, a YouTube thumbnail is a popular use for a project in
Yeah.
Express, so it's going to be up there at the top suggested sizes, but you could also just type in thumbnail and you're going to see YouTube thumbnail and it's going
There
to
it
size
is.
it at the recommended dimensions.
Yeah. And
So
then
we're
you'll
going to
still
click
see those
that.
templates if you want to get into templates there on the left. Yeah.
Bingo.
Perfect.
Because we clicked onto
Mhm.
a template for a YouTube thumbnail, it's going to default to showing the template gallery specifically for YouTube thumbnails. And here we
Awesome.
have hundreds, in some cases thousands of options that again are those starting points. There's that one that we started from.
Yeah.
And in literally 2 minutes, it looked pretty different from how it started. Again,
Yeah.
these are meant to just get you started and
Yeah.
yeah,
Don't just steal these.
yeah,
Make them your
exactly.
own. Make them
Make
your
them
own.
your own, but you can steal it. That's the difference. Because
Okay.
if
Fair.
you
Yeah.
use a template, in other popular online graphic design tools like Canva,
Yeah.
you're gonna see yourself. It's like buying a shirt from Walmart and then you see everyone else wearing the shirt from Walmart.
Yeah. I've been
It's not
there.
necessarily a bad thing, but if you desire, If you desire to have a little bit more sophistication in your design, Express is going to help you get there quickly because it's Adobe.
Yeah. All right. Only a couple more here.
Okay.
Arif asks, any issue about language support when using text? That's a good
This
question.
is such a good question. I'm going to actually pull up. I always do this. I say I'm not going to demo, and then I get too excited by the questions that you're asking.
All right. This is the last one. So, so thank you. And we will take more questions in the Ecamm community and on our Discord. So if you're like, wait a second, I have more. And obviously we're here tomorrow and Thursday as well, and replays available. So no worries if we missed you, but in the interest of time, last one for today.
Let's do 2000. What year are we in? 2014. Best fashion trends, 2014. It's not
2024. You're back in time.
Oh yeah, I said 2014. Do you see how struggled I am at like multitasking? This is my best test. It's like talking to you, doing a design, updating the text. We're just doing our best here. Have a look at this. Translate. This is a newer feature in Express. Single click, translate page. I'm going to choose Spanish. We're going to click, and let's do more than one. Let's do Japanese is one of my favorites. Obviously, some of the characters.
Doc's going to
love this. We're doing this for Doc. Duplicate and translate. So
stop it.
I won't stop it. I won't stop, Katie. I will not stop.
This is one of the reasons why using like a tool from a really large, well-respected company makes a really big difference. Like, no offense to the other tools, which are great out there, but Adobe's been doing this for so long that like the feature set and the ability to do things like this is just crazy. That's incredible.
Is really important. So think about the teams that are using Express around the world that want to be able to stay on brand, but also have impact at scale. This is an example. That's why I got so excited to answer the language question because, oh, honey, we got you covered. We got you covered. That's the translate feature in Express, which is using AI to duplicate it, but also maintain the fidelity of your design. There might be a few little things you have to move around. As you saw when we went from like a square design or a horizontal thumbnail, you might have to move things around to accommodate this space, but it makes it easy to be able to do that.
That is crazy.
I've had a lot of fun with you today.
I'm so excited for tomorrow now. If
tomorrow,
you need me,
Katie,
I'll be in the community designing and answering questions. I feel like a pro.
You're also going to be in the canvas with, you don't know this, I'm only telling you now in front of a whole bunch of other people, but you're going to be in the design with me tomorrow, okay? And we are going to be live collaborating. You didn't see this today. You're going to see it tomorrow. We're giving you a reason to come back for day 2. And day 3 is going to be more about Gen AI. But tomorrow, Katie and I are going to be co-collaborating live, and I can watch you design in the same project as me. We can be designing together. We could be. No, we will be, Miss Katie. That's coming tomorrow. Friends, thank you for your get ready.
Sizes.
Same time. I promise to stream. I shouldn't promise that because
we'll be there in the right place.
We'll be here on Wednesday. Yeah.
Yes.
And thank you for your comments. I'm going to go back and take a look at them once we get off air and tag us in your questions. It's really we're here as a resource to you. We're taking your questions and letting that inspire kind of what we share enthusiastically, but we're really here as a resource for you. And my best advice is just hop into Express and try it out and come to us with your questions in the next few days. Sound good?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Phil. Thanks everyone for joining us, and make sure that you hit that registration link so that we can enter you to win, because we want you to win. We wish that there was all of you are winners, but the amount of stuff you get in the free plan it makes you a winner already. Honestly, it's pretty impressive.
100%. We're excited for that one winner. The giveaway is 1 year of Adobe Express Premium. Complimentary for showing up, and then you get that fancy little certificate from hanging out with us 3 days in a row. So we'll see you same time, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. I did the math correctly, right? Yeah, that's correct. Thanks again for hanging out with us today, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.